Hello.
Hi, Elisa. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. Feeling
Great.
great.
Awesome. So we are here, by the way. Hello everybody. That is hopefully hanging out with us in the chat. And hope you're having a wonderful MAGWest. I'm here with the Jonah Scott.
Please. Thank you. Hi.
Hello. I see you are joining us from what I believe to be potentially your abode.
This is my bedroom, yes. Welcome to my house. I live in a 10 by 10 cube, and I work, eat, sleep, and do everything else in this little unit here.
That's amazing. I mean, that's kind of like one of the things that I've been curious about as kind of a voice actress that also works in that room over there.
Right, yeah.
Like, how have things, you live in LA, I'm based out of Dallas. How have things kind of been different, even being in LA, working in LA since, the whole Panini panorama?
Since the Panini started, in the before times, in the BC, before COVID. In the before times, it was, I was honestly getting my career off the ground, so I wasn't as ingrained into the, I'm taking a shot every time we say this, the industry. I was ingrained into the industry, but over COVID, the remote nature of everything really afforded me a lot of cool opportunities. I wouldn't be in shows like Skate the Infinity. I wouldn't be in Attack on Titan. I wouldn't be in a lot of really bigger productions if the pandemic hadn't started. Now, I don't thank the pandemic for my success, but it definitely had a hand in kind of shifting everything in one direction, so that instead of going into for a lot of stuff in LA, I did a lot of remote recording for Texas, which is interesting. I'm still doing some remote stuff here in LA. Like if I don't want to drive down to Marina Del Rey, I'll be like, hey, let me record it in my closet. But most of the stuff now is pretty opened up. I'm vaccinated, so I can go into studios. I wear a mask. We sanitize. We still do everything that we need to do. And it has definitely just afforded me a lot of new opportunities that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise, and has let it so that I can show other people what I'm capable of in this neat little concentrated 1 year where we're all just like, we're always on call. You know what I mean?
How do you find that it's been sort of different preparing for a role, like going into a studio now versus like setting up and doing it?
Well, pants are a big difference. I don't wear pants when I record. I'm wearing PJ pants right now. I usually when I go in to record, it's a day out. The recording is the stuff that I do around a bunch of other errands that I run. So I go and do anime at 9 to 11, and then from 11 to noon 30, I eat lunch somewhere in Burbank, and then I drive to another studio, and then I'd go home and do a session, and then I play D&D or something like that. That's usually how my day goes. Or I'd stream or whatever. But yeah, it's pants, big difference. I can record in my closet. I don't really need to. I could just roll out of bed sometimes. Warming up is a lot more efficient. Commute times are non-existent to some extent. I'm jealous of a lot of directors because I go into a studio and the director's like, yeah, I'm in bed right now or something like that. And it's like, I'm like, I got pants on. I got in my car. I drove 10 minutes. Like I did the hard work here. But yeah. It's been a ride. But I'm glad to be where I am right now. Lucky.
Nice. You mentioned streaming, of course. I know that's been a thing that I've been seeing a lot more of voice actors kind of getting into, especially since we haven't been able to go to cons, like ways to connect with our people. Hey, what's up?
Hi.
So speaking to your like streaming specifically, what kinds of stuff can folks expect to get into on twitch.tv/Jonah Scott?
Well, I have been streaming. You had mentioned that everybody just started kind of as a means to do what they needed to do anyway, started a Twitch stream, and it's just like a way to connect to your fan base. I had been streaming since before I moved to Los Angeles. So I learned from the greats. I watch a lot of Hassan. I watch a lot of Seagull. I watch a lot of Mizkif. You know, the Big Ten. So I know I get the vibe of Twitch, and I know what it's used for, and I know how to interact with my audience. And that's another thing that they can really expect if they come to my stream, and that's audience interaction. 60% of the time I'm watching chat go by and just answering questions and interacting with people. I play a lot of competitive games. I play a lot of Apex. I used to play a lot of League of Legends. I don't anymore. I play a lot of Apex. I play a lot of the new games that come out. In February, Dying Light 2 comes out. I play the main character in that. I'm going to be streaming that for like a month solid, just because, I mean, how often do you get to do that, right? Like it's blowing my mind. But yeah, if you come to my stream, I behave differently on a panel than I would on my stream, because my stream is 18 plus, and I drop a lot of, I swear a lot. We discuss a lot of mature subject matter. Like, it ain't for kids. This is my stream. This is not Jonah Scott voice actor stream. This is Jonah Scott's stream. So if you come to my stream, you're gonna get spicy content. But like, that's a lot of the fun. And that's one of the reasons I think people really enjoy watching me, is because while I don't censor myself, I'm very nice. I'm kind and interact with my audience, I promise. So please come hang out at twitch.tv/Jonah Scoot. You'll have a fantastic time. I'm live like every day when I can be, whenever I have the free time. I always stream. I wake up and a stream is always on the schedule, unless it gets like booted off. So
What do you get out of streaming specifically that you don't get out of sort of any other avenue to connect with your folks?
I'm not good at making friends. That's as an actor, I'm very good at like emotional recall and things like that, but like actually engaging with people is like difficult for me. I have a lot of anxiety and like social anxiety, so it is a very good outlet for me, as well as other people, to interact with me in a very like safe environment. It's not at a convention where you have to wait in line or anything like that. You don't have to pay the overhead of like $60 in a hotel room to come and see me. You can see me whenever you want, whenever I'm live. I have a YouTube as well. So the biggest thing I get out of it is being able to interact with everybody who wants to interact with me, with the amount of energy that they deserve and the amount of attention that they deserve. And not only that, but I can do it all while playing video games. So streaming is kind of a selfish thing for me, in that it helps me engage and blow off steam and interact with people that I normally wouldn't otherwise, especially our huge community. We've almost hit 9,000 people in our Discord. So we're approaching 10K. We're going to get Discord partnership soon. We're firing on all cylinders, and the big thing hasn't even dropped yet, so I cannot wait. So the biggest thing I get out of streaming, I guess, is I get friends. I have so many good friends that I've met streaming.
That's fantastic. It's also super fun. One thing that I notice about streaming, though, especially as someone kind of like struggling to be the like do I stream the game I'm in?
Right.
How weird is that? Like, are there anything, especially someone who does it regularly, are there any things specific to games that you're kind of like, this one's for me offline?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There have been a few things. All of Red Dead Redemption 2 I played off stream in its entirety. I sat down for like a week and a half, and anytime I wasn't recording for anime or something like that, I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2's story all the way through. There's things like that. Whenever it's past like 11:30 and I just want to, I want to slam into a few games of Hearthstone, or I want to play some Slay the Spire, or some like really, or maybe a few rounds of Modern Warfare or something like that, just by myself. It's kind of therapeutic. But I do get the itch a lot, where it's just like, I might as well be streaming this. Like this is something that I might as well stream. There are some things that are just for me. I call them, this is gonna sound weird, but I call them daddy streams, where I don't have my camera on, I don't have my lights on. I just have the voice and the microphone. I'm still just as interactive, but I don't have the actor pressure to be on. You know what I mean? It's just like really chill. Got chill music in the background. Yeah. It's yeah.
Dig. Is there anything that you kind of want to plug coming up in the next couple months or so? Any plans?
This month I'm doing a lot of press stuff, so I'm going to be traveling a lot this month. I won't have enough time to sit down and do a set like week of streams, but we do have mod takeovers whenever I'm not there to stream. Our moderators get access to my channel, and they do things like in-house Overwatch scrims, or we do in-house Back for Blood games. We're starting to do now. We do a lot of we play with the community, Apex, Modern Warfare, things where you can get in and play with everybody. People love the mods too. We did last time I was gone for a convention. They did an entire Overwatch tournament, and one of my moderators, Nathaniel, used to shoutcast for Overwatch tourneys. So everybody who came in to play got to have their entire match professionally shoutcasted by a couple of people, and you could clip it. You could use it for a reel if you're looking to go pro, something like that. And it's really fun just to have your gameplay have that commentary over it, especially from somebody with a great voice such as Nathaniel. But yeah, if you want to come and hang out, get introduced to the community before I come and do some weird, crazy crap on stream, please do. We always have something going on. Join our Discord. There's a bunch of links to it anywhere on my YouTube videos, things like that. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that we do when I'm not streaming. The stream is still going.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the beauties of having like a really cool community, is that they kind of, hopefully, in an ideal situation, just kind of run themselves and just hang out with each other and make friends. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. See, you're not good at making friends. You're a great facilitator of friendship.
I facilitate friendship. Yeah, that's what I do. That's a good way to put it.
Speaking of things that could either like facilitate or maybe end friendships, I saw in your bio that you are a classically trained singer.
Yes.
And after my own heart, musician.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So one of the questions that we did have submitted, because we have some submitted questions from our adoring populace.
Cool.
Go-to karaoke song.
My go-to karaoke song is "I Can Go the Distance" from Hercules.
Wow, straight up, you just had that.
Yeah, easy. I also sing like whenever I'm in like a pop mood, I'll pull up some Weezer just because I know the lyrics like by heart and I don't have to look at the screen at all. But yeah, I'm big on Disney, and I'm big on like musical theater, tropey musical theater crap, like Guys and Dolls and Into the Woods, and all that old school stuff. I got a musical theater degree. I got to use it somehow, right? I paid $30,000 for my piece of paper so that I'm good at karaoke.
Yo, okay. So sorry, because I am also a lapsed musical theater kid. So
yeah, a lapsed musical theater kid. It's a good way to put it.
Labs. I'm a Christmas Easter musical theater.
Yeah, you're a Creaster musical theater. Yeah. Okay. Got it. As a Catholic, I know exactly what you're talking about. Hey. As a recovering Catholic, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was baptized. Yo, that was about where it ended. But so musical theater is fun. Do you get a chance to kind of like use those musical theater chops as much as possible in a lot of your voice acting, or are you kind of like, I wish I could do more of that?
I do. Along with like singing, I am very well trained in accents. I have several years of accent coaching and across very different like dialects and things like that. And I used to do Shakespeare too, so the accents kind of come through when I do old style Shakespeare, and things like that. But the music itself, like musical theater stuff, you'd be surprised at how much they use music as like a direction for a lot of stuff. So if you're in for like anime, they'll tell you to change the music of a line or of a read, right? And basically what that means is you need to vary your ups and downs. And as somebody that sings and has a lot of musicality to their voice, as you notice, I'm talking, it's going up and down and all over the place. That's relatively simple to do now that I have that good base and that good training. I rarely do you get to sing in anime because it's a lot of dubbing, but it opens up a lot of doors for you when it comes to auditions. So you'll get an audition. It's like, this character sings and you're like, oh, wow, I do too. That's fantastic. Wonderful. Or this character has is very sing-songy in their approach to reads and things like that. So it helps a lot. Rarely do I get, I used to do a lot of opera, but rarely do I get opera anime characters, but like it more comes up in video games than anything. It's really cool. I got to use it more than I thought. And musical theater as a whole. Anything I talk about yet? Oh man, I got 4 shows right now that I'm actively working on, and I can't, but get super excited because the second I'm allowed to talk about it, you will know. Follow me on Twitter for on the second updates.
Yeah, that is one of those things about voice actors. Is like I am so excited to tell you about this
cool
thing that
stuff,
I just
but I
did
can't say
in 3
anything.
years. I can't wait for 3 years from now. I'm going to be so stoked to tell you about this thing I just did.
That's why I was super lucky with Dying Light. I said the trailer dropped in 2016, and I said that I voiced the character, and they didn't get mad at me. So I'm just like, hey, I guess I'm off the hook. All right, now everybody knows. They get to know now. I mean, I rolled a huge dice there, but like we're good to go. We're good to go. They kept me on. I'm good to go.
Tell me more about Dying Light, because you have a lot of anime credits and you have a lot of video game credits to your name. But one of the things I'm always curious about, because I did one workshop where I tried to match mouth flaps and I fell on my face. So thinking about like the differences between anime and video game voice acting, and in particular to your experience on Dying Light, I'd love to hear more.
Okay. So basically with Dying Light, a very surprising fact is over 50% of games aren't produced in the United States. So there is a not insignificant amount of the gaming universe that is produced overseas in another language originally. So Dying Light 2 was produced in Polish. There is the Polski version is out there, and it will be out there. And that's the original version, so to speak, right? So the Western version, the English version, is technically a dub. Technically, the only parts I had to dub would be cutscenes, because those are the only things locked to picture, and everything else I got to do wild. I just got to do for free, and I didn't have any chains on me or anything like that, other than like, obviously you can't take 50 seconds for this one line that's supposed to last like 5, right? So I had a lot of freedom when it came to the wild lines, when it came to just, Aiden, the character, interacting with other people. But the cutscenes itself are all dubbed, and it's all a localization. So my localization experience, you couldn't, in my opinion, they wouldn't have been able to get a film actor in to do what I did, because I was able to make the process very smooth for everybody involved, because I had my ADR experience from dubbing anime. I had my video game localization experience from doing JRPGs. I had, just video game experience in general from doing Western games for almost 5 years. And all of that kind of culminated into this the biggest stroke of luck I've had in my life yet, which is this character that I've managed to be able to grow over the past 5 years, because I've been Aiden since Aiden was a thing. And I did, the scratch vocals for him, and I was worried they would fire me for the longest time, because I just did the scratch vocals. I was just that guy, I just did the temporary vocals so that the real actor could get in there and use my reads. No, yeah, right. But they just kind of kept giving me work, and I kept I'm like, at a point I was just like, okay, I can't put all my eggs in this Dying Light basket, because I don't know if this is going to come to fruition or not. So I started working on my own career. And then as things rolled around, I got an agent, and I asked my agent, I'm like, hey, so I'm technically supposed to be working on this game, and I don't know, I would like an answer either way. Could you ask them for me? And he's like, sure, I'll go ahead and ask them. And he came back and he's like, so are you free next week for a session? And I'm like, oh my God, it happened. It's happening. I freaked out. I almost did a backflip. I ran laps around my apartment. I called my dad. Like it was like I had booked the lead in a major motion picture for me, because it's cheesy and sappy, but this is my dream. Like this is something that it just happened, and I didn't realize how hard that I had worked for it until I was reflective and like working on the game. And I've been like, damn, I had been working on this character and developing this character for years, and I've been putting parts of myself into the character. And I had noticed they had released a cosplay guide, so to speak, for people to cosplay the characters in the game. And this was the first time we were able to see all of Aiden fully rendered in 3D, and they had used my face. And I didn't know they didn't because they never scanned me or anything like that. They never did like a 3D thing. So they just took pictures of me and, did their little artistic thing they could. And he looks a lot like me. And I saw that and I cried. I saw that and I straight up cried. It wasn't like a boo-hoo or anything like that. I was just like, holy crap, something I never thought would happen in my life is happening when I'm 27. And I throughout the course of recording, obviously I can't say too much, but throughout the course of recording, I bonded with all of the production team. I bonded with the developers. They really enjoyed my performances, and it is to date the best experience of my life. We'll see what happens in the near future when the game comes out, but oh my gosh, it's been a long time coming, and I'm very excited to see the final product because, as you know, we don't know what takes they choose. We don't know where things are going to go. I had some creative liberty over like I want to use this, or I feel like this is a good choice, but the director ultimately has all the say. And after that, it's into the devs filter, and it filters through a bunch of other people to see what the end product is going to look like. And regardless of who got cast, I was going to play this game. So I'm equally as ecstatic because I was a huge fan of Dying Light. It was the first game I played when I moved to Los Angeles, and I got the audition for Dying Light 2. And I'm like, wait a second, this is directly referential to the first game. So this has got to be the sequel, right? And yeah, but it's been I felt like a fanboy for a lot of it because I was like, this can't be real. This can't be true. Like, there's no way this is happening, but it did, and it still is.
That's amazing.
Isn't it? I'm so excited. It's just so hard to like. I don't get to say a whole lot, but I can't wait till it's out, and then I can just talk to everybody about it. Just say everything.
It's so much fun. Stay tuned, everybody. And everybody go
please. Play it. February 4th.
Everybody go play it. Now, is that like a weird, surreal experience? Like playing and hearing? Is it sort of cringy? Like, I can't believe they went with that one, or like, oh, I wish I would have.
Yeah. As an actor, we're never satisfied with our work. Everything is perfectionism. And going back to like the first anime that I ever did was a character that didn't sound anything like me. So I went back and watched it, and I'm like, wow, I can actually enjoy this because it doesn't sound anything like me. And it's like, oh wow, yeah, I'm okay with these choices. But like, Aiden is a lot of Jonah. Aiden is a lot of just me as a human, and I feel like I'm going to go back and play those and be like, wow, I totally did have better reads. Cause this is a very, as over the top and crazy as a, undead slaying, action RPG is going to be. This is a very grounded story. This is a very down to earth. There's no crazy anime. Like there's no JoJo's, poses. There's no stands or anything like that. Kono standuda. But there's a lot of really good nuanced character performances, and I really want those to read well. And I am the most nervous about the release of this game that I've ever been in my entire life, because as a fan, I want it to be perfect. As a fan, I want it to be the best game I've ever played. So when I went in and recorded everything, I'm like, I want this to sound like a game I want to play. So I don't think it's going to be cringy because I have seen all of what's happening so far. There are, I'm not going to say too much, but there are 2 or 3 spots that were intended to be cringy. There are 2 or 3 spots in the game that I'm like, that's right. You're going to have YouTube videos of this. There's going to be people like, oh my God, this is cringy. And I'm just like, yeah, that's right. And you better like it because that's how it's supposed to be. Like this is working as intended. But yeah, most of it is very down to earth and subtle. And I really hope that reads. I really hope people understand how much heart that I tried to put into this, because I didn't treat this like a normal job, because this wasn't this. I wanted to treat this as sort of a magnum opus of mine, as well as working with the sound designers on my efforts and things like that, because it's a parkour heavy game. Yeah. And there's the efforts can't sound repeated. They can't sound monotonous. They can't sound annoying. They have to be clever and creative and rewarding, and things you want to hear, things you want to have happen again. And as a game player, as a gamer, I know that. I know you don't want to see like, and now I'll reveal your true form, like your Persona 5 thing over and over and over again. You will hear the same thing over and over and over again. It gets really annoying, and you become a butt of a joke, and you become a YouTube compilation. So I want to make things original. And there's a few things that I want to try and take away from that. A lot of it is I don't want to lean too hard into what other people have done in this whole like protagonist, like first person action RPG protagonist genre. There are other actors that have done this, obviously, hundreds of times before. Troy Baker, Booker DeWitt, You had Matthew Mercer as Jack Cooper, a bunch of
Nolan
Titanfall,
North.
things like that. Nolan North, first person action RPGs are their bread and butter. And I wanted to try and, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But variations on a theme. I want to try and make it so that it's my own thing. And, I don't sound exactly like those people, but I can draw inspiration and I can spit out something brand new. And I hope people get that. I hope that reads. I hope that comes across.
Well, your passion at the very least. Definitely.
I know I talked your ear off. I'm sorry.
No. I'm fascinated as somebody who has had the benefit of like being a part of her favorite franchise and had that like weird out of body experience. I'm like, yes, absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
I'm like stoked for you because it is just like the coolest feeling in the world.
Right? Amazing.
So let's do something really quick because I'm not entirely sure how much time we have left, but it's probably way less than I would like. How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's manifest.
Okay.
Let's manifest.
Can do this.
Because this you want this to be your magnum opus.
Right. But there are other characters I want to play. Yes, of course.
Right. So to my question, let's manifest. Like, are there things you've done the musical theater thing, you're a classically trained singer, you're a streamer, like content creator, video game voice actor, like what's left on your bucket list?
On my bucket list.
on like your career bucket list, at least.
I want to do a travel vlog of Japan at some point. Japan or Scotland. I feel like that would be really fun for me to do. Let's see. As for like other things in my career that I want to happen, I want to voice a Final Fantasy character. Specifically, if it ever comes to my table, I would like to voice Vincent Valentine, because I feel like I could probably do that justice. Let's see, what else is on my bucket list? I want to do the main thing I wanted to get into voice acting to do is performance capture and voice and performance capture specifically. So the pandemic obviously made a lot of learning how to do mocap difficult because you're going to have people touching you. You're going to have people really close to you. You're going to have, people moving your body around and telling you to do things in a very enclosed space. So I have to probably pump the brakes on that for the time being. But that's something that I really want to lean into in the next year, learning how to make that work, maybe getting into some more AAA games in that capacity. I really want to book more games. I've been killing it with anime lately. And I'm very excited. I love doing anime. It's a highlight of my day. But I also love doing video games, and I feel like that's something I'm really good at. So I want to bring more to the table for video games.
All right, casting directors, you heard
it.
Now make it happen.
Sam, talk to Sam at CESD. I'll hook you up.
And as we wrap up, I would love for you to one more time tell the people where they can find you and like what's like the coolest new thing that you just need people to know about you right now.
Okay, cool. You can follow me on Twitter at I'm Mr. Transistor. I tweet every day, 5 to 10 times a day. If you want to keep abreast of what I'm doing down to the minute, go see me on Twitter. Twitch is twitch.tv/Jonah Scott. I have a lot of backlog of content. You can find me on YouTube as well. Just type in Jonah Scott. And I guess one of the most recent things that I guess is pretty popular is Way of the House Husband. I voice Tatsu the Immortal Dragon in Way of the House Husband, who's the main character of that. And they had a second part just come out recently last month that we got done. So please go watch that. It's hilarious. It's a big slapstick parody of being a Yakuza member. And it's hilarious. And I get to use a voice that I normally don't. So please watch it in English. Fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jonah, for hanging out. We should talk after.
We should vibe. Yeah, I feel like we found something here.
Yeah. We should talk after this. We'll circle back.
Yes.
And review. Everybody, go watch his streams and do yourselves a favor of picking up Dying Light 2. I know I will. I'm very, very excited. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, Jonah, and have a great rest of your virtual MAGWest.
Thank you, Elisa. You too. Bye-bye, guys.